Okay, and we should be on.
Yep.
So today we're going to be covering arrays, which is a particular tricky subject for most people. So I want to go over this kind of slowly.
Alrighty.
Alrighty, so we already wrote the program. So first off, we're going to introduce what an array is. So you guys already know what the singular or the single variables are, which are, the ones you regularly use, just int, double, char, and there's a couple ones that
Boolean. You can also use a mixture of them.
Yeah, you can use other stuff, but there's long shorts and too. But
Yeah.
does anybody use this anymore?
Sometimes.
I don't think so. Anyway, so if you've ever wondered if you can use, more than, I guess, one slot for an integer under the same name, then yes, you can. That's what an array is. Basically, you're asking the computer to find you a spot in memory that is big enough to fit a certain number of one type of variable. So, for example, if I were to say, like right here, I want an array of integers called number that has 5 spots. That's how I would do it. The way you want to think about this is, I always think about this like boxes, sort of. So this right here determines how big the box is, so what you can fit in it. So integers, doubles, and characters all have different sizes, so you need to tell it what type of box you want, then the name that you want them to be stored as, and then how many you want. Alrighty? And characters are special because they need something that is called the termination character. Or I guess they don't need, but most of them.
Yeah, they usually come with it.
Yeah,
But
you can
account for it.
You can make an array without a termination character, but it is not advisable because I think some of the functions that you can use later on will not work.
They look for it.
Yeah, they look for it because that's how you know that it ended.
Yeah.
Termination character. Anyway, so this is a termination character. Don't pay attention to the single quotes. That just means it's a character.
Yep.
It is this. Is that forward, backward?
It is back.
The
back. It's leaning back.
Oh yeah, I see.
It's leaning back, Puga.
Okay.
So
It is the \0. That is the termination character. So you'll see that in a little bit. So we made a little program right here that lets you make arrays.
Yep.
So we're gonna go over this with you.
Kind of cover a little bit of everything in this one.
Yeah.
Menu.
We made a little menu, and the menu loops.
While.
And a do while. But we'll go over that in a little bit. So, right. I actually sometimes wish we had more time so we could just like show them how I write stuff, because I don't actually declare this straight up. I declare them as I go. But hopefully
that's a long video, Puga.
Yeah, I know. It'd be like 20 minutes plus.
Yeah.
Anyway, so first we gotta make our menu, right? We gotta tell them what we're doing. So let's make some arrays. You put 1 and we make an integer 1, 2 a double 1, 3 make a character 1. So we get the choice. We declare it up here, integer choice, and I started at 0 because that's my exit. So we get their choice, and let's go down a little bit. Case 1, if you remember correctly, it is the integer array. So I asked them to enter 5 numbers to place in the integer array. Now, arrays are
this is where the tricky part is. If you scroll back up, Puga.
Oh, sure.
So when he declares his array, like int number and 5, that is how many spots you want. Now, the indexes for the arrays start at 0. Everything in computers usually start at 0.
Yeah.
So when we count from 0, 5 spots, you go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's your 5 spots. And you have to account for that when you're going through your array, and that's what you'll notice inside of the for loop.
Right here.
Yeah. So he goes until I is less than 5. So when I reaches 5, it breaks out because 5 is not less than 5. And
yeah.
And you stop on the 4th index.
So it goes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's 5 spots. That's why I put less than 5.
Yeah. Actually, go back up to the top, Puga.
Yep.
You go up to your comments and put numbers underneath the.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Dang it. I swear,
No,
sometimes I never.
On the other one. Yeah. Alright, no, put it underneath.
Oh, that's what you wanted. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
This keyboard does so much racket. I really wish it would line up a little bit better, but I don't think it does.
No, you're fine though.
Yeah, it's
so
pretty good.
That array, if you go a line above that one.
That better? No, that's better.
If you go a line above that one, just do like a fake declaration of it. And just do like int x7.
Oh, you meant on top?
It. Yeah.
Okay.
That way they'll get a... So yeah. So that's how you declare your spots, or your array with 7 spots, and then to access each of those spots, you would use those indexes, 0 through 6.
These indexes are actually inside of here. I should probably put them in there, actually. It takes like no time at all anyway.
It's okay. We can move on now, Pooja.
Okay. Gosh. Things come up and then you just want to do them. Anyway. So I ask you to give me 5 numbers, and we make a for loop, and we loop 5 times and store them one at a time in our array. So as you can see, I starts at 0, and we are inputting with cn into our variable called number, which is an array, at the current slot, which is I. So the first time it'll be 0, next time 1, next time 2, next time 3, next time 4, and at 5 it quits, so it never inputs. Then I'm going to show you the numbers that you entered. So I set my I back to 0, and just in case you were wondering, I am doing my for loops with this I right here. I declared it up here so I don't have to keep declaring a counter variable. I set it back to 0. I do the same thing, I less than 5, because we only have 5 numbers. We increment I, and we see out our array at the slot I, which will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it ends. If you notice, I didn't put an end line here, so it should actually be outputting them on this line right here. So after you see you enter the following numbers, there will be the numbers that you entered separated by this space right here. Right here. I should probably be using the mouse and not just highlighting with the keys. I don't like using the mouse anymore. Anyway, so same thing for doubles. It's basically the same thing. The only difference is that you're gonna get decimal places.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just like a regular double.
And then here is the one with characters.
Characters are always a little bit tricky than everything else.
If you think about what a character is, it's just a single letter, right? So if you have a character array, the only reason why you would ever use a character array, in my opinion, would probably be to make a word, usually, right?
Yep.
So I asked them to please enter a word with 20 characters or less. So you'll notice that I used this right here, cn.ignore. Well, the reason why I'm using cn.ignore is because when you use the cn,
buffer clusters.
it shut up, Ken. leaves the termination character inside of the input buffer, right? So cn.getLine, which is this right here, gets an entire line until a termination character is reached. Now, when you do when you did a cn before you do a cn.getLine, since the cn leaves the termination character in the input buffer, when you do cn.getLine, the first thing you get is the termination character. Since you got a termination character, what you just entered does not actually go in, because it ends instantly, because there was still a termination character. So the cn.getLine is like, I'm going to read up until I get a termination character, and it just straight up gets a termination character. Whoops, I'm done. I didn't get anything. And then you're left over with some input, which is what you typed technically towards the cn.getLine. What you wanted to go into the cn.getLine is now in the input buffer, which means next time this loops around, the first cn will get all that input that you were planning on making it into. You were planning on putting it into the characters, into the character array. So that's bad. Your program will probably explode.
Or just give you
loop.
Crazy stuff.
Or just loop. Okay. So that said, you just get rid of that with this thing right here. As a rule of thumb, in my opinion, you should always put like a cn.ignore on right before your cn.getLine, so you just save yourself some grief. The cn.ignore basically ignores
anything that a CN previously has done.
Yeah, you can put some parameters on it. You can ignore a certain amount of characters extra. That's more for input validation. I'm sure somebody will go over it in class. Anyway, continuing. So we do cn.getLine into our variable. By the way, you can look this up into
Google.
In C++ reference. So character array was the name of our array, right? So that's our variable. And then 20 is how many slots we have available. So the parameters for cn.getLine is the name of your array, character array of course, and how big it is, 20. Then you can actually just output the character array just like that. You just throw it out. That works. So that will come out as a word. But once again, remember that this will not take care of any formatting. So you actually have to do it manually. Or if you use printf, which we're probably going to cover in next video, then you can use that. Alright, and I actually wanted to show you character by character the word that you entered. So I put this right here. Here is the word character by character, and then we loop through until 20.
Or until we hit the if statement. Right?
All until we hit the if statement, correct. So if the character array at I is the same as the termination character, that actually you can't see that. So the only way we got to show you is by saying the termination character is here.
Yep.
So right here I'm evaluating if the character that we're currently looking at is the same as the termination character, then we say this, we break out. But this just breaks out of the for loop, and then there's another break, and this breaks out of the case statement.
And the rest of the program
is just default, you know.
Yeah, just closing out
case
the
0
stuff.
is goodbye. The default is you entered something weird, now you just return 1. And we're doing this while the choice is not 0, which
it's okay.
which it's just a while. Anyway, yeah, you're right, but
it's okay, Puga.
but it's okay. I didn't notice. Whoops. It's early. Yeah, it's not late this time. It's really early.
Alright, so let's show them the program.
Okay, let's show them the program. Let's compile it. And looky there. It actually does. Oh, I should probably put clear here.
It's okay.
Nah, it's alright. Alright, so let's make some arrays. Let's make one with integers first. So Kevin, give me 5 numbers.
2, 4, 7, 1, 9.
Alright, so you entered 2, 4, 7, 1, 9. And then I should have probably left another space, but whatever. Now, let's just make a double one just real quick. I'm very creative with my numbers.
Come on. 3.14.
Ah. Anyway.
Close enough.
Close enough, whatever. That's pi, right?
Yeah.
34.
Somewhere. 0.1. Yeah.
So that's with doubles. And now let's make a character one. Okay. So, the word you entered is Kevin Lee. Here is the word character by character. Kevin Lee. And then the termination character is right there. And then
good
there's
job,
an extra
Puga.
space in there. Anyway, let's exit this real quick.
There we go.
I am going to show you actually what is in the array. What? Time?
It's a long.
It's okay.
It's very long.
It's okay.
It's like 20 minutes.
Are you serious? 20 minutes?
No, it's like 15.
It's fine. Stop being a wimp.
Okay, Buddha. I would not want to watch 20-minute video.
Did we do with the breaking here?
I thought we got rid of the whole if statement.
Yeah, you did, but wait, let's just see. Hold on. I got this. This should work. Okay, now we should get some hoopla in here.
There we go.
There we go. Wow, look at that. There were some termination characters and crap in there. Anyway, so you should know that when you're making a character array and you didn't actually nullify or put some sort of if you didn't put anything in your character array, anything beyond what you entered will be
Junk.
hoopla.
It's just a bunch of junk and
So
random
I
things.
entered Kevin Lee.
But
Kevin
that's not 20 characters
Lee.
long.
Termination character here, and after this first termination character, anything else is just garbage.
Yep.
It's just weird. Like, we got an @ sign, termination character here, termination character here, termination character here, and then there's an A with an accent mark to the other side. Accent circumflex, I don't know. An asterisk, and then some other stuff. So, and a curly, wow, there's a curly brace in there. Anyway, so for arrays is always watch out for character arrays, I guess, and make sure that you know how much input you got. And some teachers actually like going over strings, and we might do that eventually, but not at this moment. So make sure you're only using your array up until the input that you got. Otherwise, you'll get some hoopla.
Yep.
Which is not what you want. Alrighty, I think that's enough for this, and then we'll probably do some other stuff with arrays later on.
My hard drive.
Okay.
Alright.
Bye bye.
Bye.